What's going on, guys? It is your boy Coach Reed. In this video, I simply want to talk about one of the biggest lessons that I learned in my 30s, going into my 40s. I'm 37 now, going into my 40s, that has changed the whole trajectory of my life, guys. Hopefully it's something that you can connect with, something that maybe you have learned, maybe it's something you struggled with, you'll hear something different. But yeah, let's just unpack it a little bit, all right? I'm gonna do a little bit of rambling here. The biggest lesson, guys, that I learned is that in the time that we have here, in this short amount of time, the things that we pay attention to, the things that we say that matter are the things that matter, and nothing else does. Now, I said a whole bunch of stuff there, and let me try to unpack it a little bit more for you, right? You know, in my teenage years, I spent a lot of time doing what everybody else was doing. If somebody else liked a certain pair of clothing, I'm like, I need to like that certain pair of clothing. If somebody else liked a certain, music, I automatically need to wear that clothing or listen to that kind of music, right? And what I started to realize is that half the time that I was chasing what everybody else was doing, I didn't actually like the thing that I was chasing, right? I didn't like those clothes, or I didn't like that music, or I had these different views about society, or whatever it is, guys. And that it was in my 20s, or in my teens, in my 20s, even some parts of my early 30s, when you start to realize like everything you do, you are attaching to what society tells you to do. And I'm big on this concept that society guides us in these directions that they want us to go. They tell us what TV shows are popular, and we have to automatically assume that they're popular. They tell us what the new trends are, the new, like the crate challenge, like came out of nowhere. They told us that that crate challenge was something that we needed to be doing or that we needed to be watching. And I started to think like, half the stuff that we do, we don't even want to do. Half the stuff that you do, probably you don't even want to do. But it wasn't until I connected to who I am and what I enjoy doing and what I'm about that I started to realize that in the short amount of time that we are here, the only things that matter, guys, are the things that you put attention to, the things that you deem matter, and the things that are most important to you. Now, that isn't to say you might not have a family that you need to, look after. It's not to say you don't have a job that you need to, go to every day to provide for. It's not to say that the important things about health and fitness are not important. But on a bigger scale, guys, the things that you give attention to, the things that you think that matter are the things that matter the most. Because what ends up happening is we wake up and we turn on social media or we turn on TV, and that starts to guide what we pay attention to. And we're like, okay, Sarah down the street has this, I need to do this. Bob down the street has this, I need to pursue that. And you start to lose touch with yourself. And so what I'm saying is that in my early teens, in my 20s, and heading into my 30s, I would buy cars that I couldn't afford just to impress people. I would wear certain clothes, like I'm wearing Lacoste shirts that cost, $100, and I didn't even like them. Like, I didn't like a collar shirt. I'm not comfortable in that, but I did it simply to impress other people. I would go to a bar and was like, let's ball out. Shots for you, shots for you, shots for you, shots for everybody, simply to be liked or simply to fit in or simply to feel like I am part of what everybody else is doing. But I started to realize like I got further and further away from myself. So I'm here to say this, in this video specifically, but in general, we have to get back to who we are as people, right? And it made me think like, I'm a workhorse. I absolutely love to work. You can put me in a room with a rock and you can say your task is to chip that rock down and don't leave until you do that. And I'm gonna be so locked in and so motivated, like that's my personality. And on the big 5 personality traits, I'm high in conscientiousness, right? Meaning I'm goal-oriented, I love to work, I'm a workhorse, that's what I love to do. But for some people, they might look at that and say, oh, you need to scale back, you need to, enjoy life a little bit more. But what they don't realize is they are telling you to scale back on the thing that you love. And I'm not telling you not to have balance. I gotta walk this fine line. I'm not telling you not to have balance, but at the end of the day, if you are a workhorse and you love to work and you derive pleasure from working, like work. I have some clients who are like, they're workhorses, right? They love to work. They love to work. They love to freaking work. And who would I be to be like, oh, you need to scale back and you need to do this. And then there's some people who are just like, they want to try a bunch of different things. They want to play Pokemon Go, and then they want to bake this and they want to do this and that. But if that is what you want to do and that's the attention that you want to give to something, that's you. Instead of saying, okay, the societal trend is pointing in this direction and that's what I need to follow, how about connecting to the thing it is that makes you unique and the thing it is that you want to do, right? Because I can't be you and you can't be me. So the things we pay attention to are the things that we say matter the most. And if the things that you think matter the most internally are not the things that you are watching every single day, then why don't you change up your algorithm and change up the things that you watch? Why don't you, like, I am one of those who I like Deftones, and I like Coheed and Cambria, and then I like 50 Cent, and then I'm like, my musical tastes are all over the place. Why would I lock into a certain genre and just do that simply because society told me to? I'm one of those where I used to like watching sports, but now I do not like watching a lot of sports, so I don't know what's going on in the sporting world. But you're not going to shame me and make me feel bad because you think that I should be doing something that is like, okay, like I should watch the Super Bowl, but I'm not. Like I should want to do that, but I'm not, because that's not who I am. So I learned in my 30s to pay attention and focus on the things that bring me the most pleasure. And that might be running in the mountains, or that might be sitting down by myself and writing something philosophical, or it might be reading Jordan Peterson. I know every freaking Kobe Bryant quote that exists because that's my guy. Like, that's what I enjoy. But I don't know too much about love and hip hop, and I don't know too much about the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, and I don't know too much about all of these things. And while I'm not telling you not to dabble in some other things and learn some new things, right? Because there is fun to be had in the spice of life. What I am telling you is double down on the things that you like to do. I get invited to stuff all the time, but I don't want to do it. And so I have learned to say no. It's not what I want to do. I get invited on group runs. I run a few group runs throughout the year, but I don't like group runs. I do not like to run in a group. So I can say no, and that's okay. If I offend you, I am just living who I am, right? But back in the day, I would do everything. Okay, I'm gonna do this group run even though I don't wanna do it. I'm gonna listen to this though I don't wanna listen to it. I'm gonna get this car even though it's not my dream car or what it is that I wanna do. I'm gonna operate business this way because you told me to. I'm done, and I got done listening to how everybody else told me to live my life, and I started to live it for me, and guess what that did? That started to make life less stressful. I wake up in the morning and it doesn't matter if I'm happy, sad, or whatever, I focus on and put attention on the things that I have deemed matter the most. So whether that's my family, and that's business, and that's fitness. I don't do a lot of things. I don't do a lot of extra things, and I'm okay with that. I'm goal driven. I am focused on my goals. I am focused on my family. I am focused on my goals, and I'm focused on my family. Like, that's the things that I like to do. And so you're not going to shame me, and you can't let anybody shame you for liking the things that you like. Maybe it's a quirky book that you like to read, or maybe it's I like to draw, and like whatever it is. Like, you can't shame people into you being them, or them making you feel like you should be them. You are you. So my encouragement is if you could figure that out early and stop caring. Like, I wear shorts most of the time year round. I'll go in a grocery store. I can't believe you're wearing shorts. I'm most comfortable in shorts. I'm most comfortable. Oh, your beard's getting a little long. I like my beard the way it is. Like, you're not going to shame me into doing what it is that you think I should do simply to fit into your society that is a whole construct of things that, you know, they have pushed. Like, I'm going to be me. And in being me, sure, I'm gonna try some new things, I'm gonna learn some new things. I'm gonna embarrass myself sometimes. Sometimes I'm gonna, you know, not necessarily, sometimes the opinions of others will be a driving factor in the things that I do, but the less that you focus on the opinions of others, the less you stop watching what other people are doing and live you, the more happy you'll be, the less anxious you'll be, and you'll be focused on the things that you are supposed to do. So guys, long ramble to say this one more time. Focus on the things that you want to focus on, the things that derive the most pleasure for you. The things that you pay most attention to are the things that should drive you, motivate you, inspire you, or the things that you actually want to do. It's okay to say no to some of the things that you don't want to do. It's okay to say, you know, that's not for me. Like, I understand that's your thing, and I'm going to be interested in it because you're talking about it, but that's not my thing. And that's okay. And when we get there, when we get to that place, things get a lot easier, guys. Things get a lot less stressful. Hope this video made sense. If it did, please hit the like button, drop a comment, continue to do what it is you do. I want to get some feedback from you guys. What is something that you've learned? Or are you one of those people you're still locked into what everybody else is doing? Are you one of those people who is like, okay, society, 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 and you forgot yourself? Whatever it is, drop it in the comments. I appreciate you guys. Heading into my 40s in 3 years, like, hopefully I continue to get just more wisdom and more disconnected from what society says and more connected to what it is that I want to do. It is your boy, Coach Reed. I am out.